Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the 8-Bit Adventures podcast. I am your host, Sean Hayes. This is episode 343, and I'm just realizing I forgot to update the stuff for the live stream. Oops. so, uh, so if you're watching live, pay no attention. It's not episode 342. It's episode 343. And we are here to bring you this week's latest and greatest gaming news. So we got a couple pieces of news this week. I mean, there was a PlayStation State of Play. There was Sony State of Play. So I admittedly have not seen it. This week ended up being very busy. But I do have probably what is kind of the biggest news coming out of that. Voice is starting to get a little shaky. Worried that I might be coming down with something. So this is going to be a little bit of a shorter episode, just to warn everybody. Hope everyone's doing well. I did a Winterspell set release sealed tournament today. It's a pre-release sealed tournament. So we'll be talking a little bit about Winterspell later on. And I will be showing off a special special treat that I got from that. So stick around for that. That will be our last bit of news. But we've only got 4 items. So again, bit of a shorter episode. So without further ado, let's get right into the news, shall we? So first up, Game Informer reports that the latest entry in the Castlevania series, we're getting a new Castlevania game in 2026, folks. Castlevania Belmont's Curse, being developed in a partnership between Konami, Evil Empire, and Motion Twin. Astute listeners will note that Evil Empire and Motion Twin are the co-developers of Dead Cells. So this definitely has more of an action platformer feel to it. Is noted that it is not a roguelike. So it feels very much more like an action platformer. We'll see if it retains the true Metroidvania formula. I feel like you kind of have to if it's one of the 2 games that the genre is named after. Yeah, gameplay looks pretty good so far. It incorporates Trevor Belmont in the cinematic. And it's coming to all platforms. So I actually first heard of this from, shout out to the Nintendo subreddit, because it was posted there, because it is coming to Switch too. But apparently all the news was talking about it from the State of Play reveal. So yeah, it doesn't matter what you play, you'll be able to get it. So yeah, I'm very excited about that. I'm glad to see Konami is doing stuff with its IPs. So that's always nice, not just relegating them to gambling machines. So yeah, I'll be very excited to see this. That this might be something that I'll pick up later. So yeah. And if I recall, Trevor, I think, is the main character of the Castlevania Netflix series. So very curious to see. The main character is not Trevor. So seems like it could be Trevor's daughter? Maybe. Definitely seems like it could be. And I won't reveal any more in case you haven't seen the series. which you should. It's great on Netflix. Very good. Um, so yeah, and I mean, and Dead Cells was really successful. So, it's the development team for this game certainly has a pedigree. Um, so yeah, and I mean the gameplay looked pretty good. I don't know. It might end up being too hard for me because that tends to be a case with Metroidvanias. Um, but yeah, we'll see. Well, I'm anxiously waiting for more information to come. Next up, uh, Game Informer again reports that Blizzard is bringing the Warlock class to Diablo 4 in the Lord of Hatred expansion, Diablo Immortal, and Diablo 2 Resurrected, which nobody asked for. It's the remake of Diablo 2, or remaster, I guess, of Diablo 2, is getting a Warlock DLC. Like this, I had to put in just because. Number one, I found my old Diablo 2 discs and managed to get my keys uploaded to BattleNet. But like Diablo 2 Resurrected is kind of just like a remaster of Diablo 2. And as far as I know, like I don't know if it was just like I don't know precisely if there was a graphics update to it or if it was just like updating, like making it compatible with modern PCs. Uh but adding any sort of like new content to it is wild to me. And the fact that that's out now. Like Diablo 2 Resurrected got it first. Um yeah. It's incomprehensible to me. I'm glad. Especially I got Diablo 2 Resurrected for like $12. Like it was on some sort of big sale. Um so yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there has been any info put out for it. Seems like it uses I would imagine it uses curses, probably blood magic and something to bind demons with. So it might be. My concern is that it would feel awfully similar to Necromancer, um, especially with like curses and blood magic, and then if it has any sort of like minions, or perhaps it is binding monsters so that it's unlike the Necromancer in that you're not summoning monsters or reanimating them, but that you are like mind controlling monsters on the map. Um, so I don't know. I have heard that like it's like a $30 DLC for Diablo 2 Resurrected, which is almost the cost of the base game. Um, I don't know if it include I so I will need to do more digging on this to find out if like that includes like new maps or if it's just for a new class. Because if it's just for a new class, that's way too much. Um, so more research is necessary for this. Um, I suppose I'm just gonna look it up now if folks will bear with me. Uh, so Diablo 2 Resurrected Warlock DLC. What does it include? What does this include? Oh my goodness, it's making me. Jeez. Age verification. All right, what does this? Fresh new terror zones, fearsome colossal ancients to conquer, quality player requested quality of life changes, and more. Okay. Okay, so it's not just a class. There is some other stuff. Um okay, so it has demonic binding skills. Oh, so they are summons. Eldritch weapons. Chaos. Okay. Okay, so you get 2 character slots, 2 stash tabs. The Reign of the Warlock, which includes the other content. You get a trophy for Diablo 4, you get a pet for Diablo 4, and you get housing decor for World of Warcraft. Oh, this was not mentioned anywhere. This is probably bigger news than all of this. So Diablo 2 Resurrected is coming to Game Pass and to Steam. That Diablo coming to Steam is probably much bigger news than than the rest of this. That's pretty cool. That is, I want to say that this might be the first time that a Blizzard title is available off of BattleNet. Um, or no, some of the legacy titles have been available on other platforms. So yeah. Okay. So this is, I mean, this is okay. But how much does it cost? What is the cost, Blizzard? I mean, I don't know why I have BattleNet open. So we'll find out. We're finding out in real time, folks. The Infernal Edition is $40. So I would imagine that the DLC is less than that. So there we go. All right. So yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, I think I would want to, I don't know, maybe I'll get suckered into it for the decor. And I do have to install Diablo. I do have to. I have Diablo 2 Resurrected. I haven't installed it yet. Because I enjoyed it back in the day. Would love to get back in. So, Warlocks, cool stuff. Next up, what I assumed was the biggest news out of the state of play is IGN reports that Santa Monica Studio is working on a God of War Trilogy remake. So there you have it, folks. In addition, Mega Cat Studios has released a spin-off title, God of War Sons of Sparta. So this is an action platformer that is that takes you through Kratos' journey to like train to be a Spartan warrior. And it's like narrated by him. So he's like retelling his past with it through this game. I saw some of the gameplay. The art style seems nice, but like the animation was a little bit of a turnoff for me, admittedly. And I don't know if it was just the person playing it or if it's the gameplay itself, but I'm not sure I don't know if it has a great gameplay loop or if it was just the person playing it kind of fumbling their way through a little bit. Or maybe it starts off, maybe it's intentionally starts off that way and then it gets more fluid later on. Oh, that would make sense, right? To mimic like becoming more and more familiar with weaponry and combat as the game goes on. So, and then the trilogy remake. I mean, it was just announced, so yeah, there's no news on like when it's coming. But it is confirmed that they are retaining Kratos' voice actor, which is great because I've seen clips of him on panels with Jim Cummings talking about how like I don't know if he gets a lot of work outside of doing God of War. It seems like he said he hasn't gotten any gigs that he's actually auditioned for. Uh, and any work that he's gotten has just been like through studios contacting him directly or his agent like finding him work without an audition. Um, so I'm glad they're keeping him on. Okay. Finally, last bit of news. Of course, Disney Lorcana Winterspell has released to local game stores. It is out now. Chances are, if you went to an event today, you did a pre-release tournament, usually sealed. So, a couple things to note with this set is boost cards return. We also now are starting to get boost locations. There's new mechanic Underdog, which is like it's interesting in that like they didn't give it a keyword, but it's like an ability name that uh they kept standardized across several cards. What Underdog is if you play this card during your first turn, like if it's your first turn and you didn't go first in the game, that card costs one less. And all of the underdog cards cost two. So they're generally statted out to be like a two cost character. But if you're on the draw, you can get to play it your first turn. So I think it's a great ability. I used it to full effect today. I had a bunch of underdog cards. And I think including more of that ability going forward will really bring that parity between like going first and going second closer together in Lorcana. Because more so than other games, going first has a pronounced advantage in this game. And so I think if you can introduce cards that even the playing field, uh, I think that makes the game more interesting. Um. So yeah. I think Ruby certainly has a shot at coming back as a competitive color. Um, with cards in particular like Grab Your Bow, um, and Marching On to War. Marching On to War gives Ruby some very badly needed card draw. Um, and Grab Your Bow, very efficient, uh, very efficient removal spell. Um, so, I mean, I'm I'm not excited to see, because that is a card that is designed to be like anti aggro. Not excited for that personally, but I would love to see if Ruby became competitive again. Like, I would love to see if all the colors are competitive. And it feels like right now Ruby is just not there. And Amber's not really there either. It seems if you want to be on top, you are playing. Uh, I mean, it's actually not too bad right now. Because there was Sapphire Emerald. Uh, there was Amber Emerald with dogs. But then it was like Amethyst Steel or Sapphire Amethyst. Uh, but I would love to see more viable ink combinations, and I would love to see every ink color be represented in the meta somewhere. Um. So yeah. So yes, Ruby got some very interesting cards. Amber's eating well this set. I'm happy about that. Um, although Amethyst continues to just be like the good card ink color. Um, I think Amethyst needs a tightening up of its identity, because it just seems to get everything. Um, to the point that like it feels like you can pair Amethyst with anything and then just have a meta deck. Um, because like you end up getting evasion, you get uh like you can lock stuff down with like exert cards. Um, it has rush, it gets challenger, it gets unrestricted card draw, uh bouncing, um cards that you just get lore when you play them. So it feels like it's all over the place, and it just gets like the best stuff. Um, and contrasted with like Emerald, which is like Emerald's Emerald's identity seems to be like it can do everything at a cost, or it just disrupts your opponent, but not like it's not removal often, but it's like damaging damaged characters, or uh like punishing being challenged was a big thing early on. Um, discard, which like discard's fallen out of favor because discard is not fun for people. Um, yeah, it just feels like Emerald is like it can kind of do what everybody else can do, but badly. Which I think also it could use some tightening up of that. Um, but like Emerald is getting resist. Resist during your opponent's turn, which again, like doing stuff that other people can do, but not as good. um, so yeah, I'm very curious to see if Winterspell means if Ruby makes it back into the meta somehow, and if Amber kind of climbs back up. Um, I don't know if it will. I think I think Amethyst Steel is just so dominant right now. Um, I don't know what it'll take to unseat it, because it just has so many tools at its disposal. I don't know if it'll just continue to stay on top until set rotation, and then you have to keep our fingers crossed. Um. So yeah. The main thing today is I pulled my first enchanted card today, so that was very exciting. I got Todd, knows all the tricks. So, admittedly, I was not a big Fox and the Hound fan growing up as a kid. Never really watched it. I watched it maybe a handful of times throughout the course of my life. It never really grabbed me. But I don't know. I guess Disney Foxes are just like part of my identity now. I guess I don't know. I will say this card is gorgeous. I think out of the enchanted cards, this is one of the better one in this set. Like I like the storybook look, um, but it's just with the way the colors are and the card design, with the foiling. I think it came out to be one of the prettier ones. So I am happy about that. I did use it in my deck today. I did not do what I have always threatened to do and play an enchanted unsleeved. I did sleeve it. Um, so yeah. Uh, all in all, I'm excited for Winterspell. It's going to cause me all sorts of deck building headaches to try and figure stuff out. That I'm excited for that challenge and to see what happens. Uh, so yeah, and that is our last bit of news for the week. Thank you all for joining me on this episode of the 8-Bit Adventures podcast. If you would like to see more content from 8-Bit Adventures, be sure to check out 8bitadventures.com. If you'd like to help support 8-Bit Adventures, you can become a patron over at patreon.com/8bitadventures. Let's see if this command works in the chat now. There we go. And big shout out and thank you to all of my current patrons. Thank you for your continued support. Our opening theme is One Up by Professor Shy Guy. You can find his work over at professorshyguy.bandcamp.com. And with that, we're signing off for the week, folks. Signing off for the night, anyway. So, hope you all have a very pleasant week, especially considering school vacation week. So, stay warm, stay healthy, and as always, have fun, happy gaming, and enjoy your pie cake.